Hello and welcome to the NORSEFORCE Racing League Valhalla Cup Series as these drivers finishing up qualifying here tonight at Chicagoland. And we're going to go through the starting grid pretty much straight away, but we want to welcome you to race number 7 of the NORSEFORCE Racing Valhalla Cup Series right here from Chicagoland tonight. Starting on your pole in tonight's event, it's going to be Jimmy Mullis, another pole for him here this season. And he is going to be starting right there on that top spot again. Jake Bryan going to be rolling off in the second position right there on his outside. So great lap by Jake, but just not quite enough to knock Jimmy off that top spot. In third, it's going to be Ian Smith. Fourth will be Connor Horn, that number 8 machine, who's run very strongly in the start of this season. Bridal LaPrade, winner at Michigan, or Auto Club, I should say, going to be rolling off in the 5th position. Caden Rush rolling off in the 6th position. Nicholas Short is going to be starting in 7th. Dylan Parker starting in the 8th spot. Jeremy Miller going to be starting in 9th, and Jonathan Hernandez rounds out the top 10. In 11th, it's Donovan Strauss. 12th will be Eric Royce. 13th will be Wade Hustad. 14th, Keith Mayato, a V-Speed driver. Josh Lambert going to be rolling off in 15th, and Vicente Salas rolling off in 16th. Malik Ray going to be starting in 17th here tonight. He's last week's winner, looking for a repeat. Ty Bass going to be rolling off in 18th. Graham Boland starting in 19th, and Colin Keister going to be starting in the 20th position here tonight. 21st will be Anthony Burrows, who won a few races ago. Skylar Shackelford going to be rolling off in the 22nd position. Chris Samard rolling off in 23rd here tonight. Dylan Alt starting in 24th. Michael Jean's going to be starting in the 25th position. Zach Nichols will be starting in 26th. In 27th, it's Derek Justice. 28th, going to be Michael Finlayson. 29th, Justin Vitello. Matt Kemp rounds out the top 30. And that's going to do it for the field here. 30 drivers. And Jimmy Mullis is going to lead the field to the green flag. Let's take a look at our track conditions here. 86-degree air temp, 89-degree track temp. And should be plenty of grip for these guys. Talked a little bit with the V-Speed drivers here to see what they were feeling. And a little bit loose in the pack for the first few laps, and then it really tightens up quickly is what they were saying. So should be interesting to see how these guys make it work tonight. But they're making their way down the back straightaway. We're about to get race number 7 underway here in tonight's event, presented by Blaze Pizza, as well as Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, Next Level Racing, and the Butt Kicker, as always. We want to thank all of them for sponsoring this league. So many great drivers here, such great racing already this season, and we're about to go green for race number 7 here at Chicagoland. Jimmy Mullis, that 46 machine, out in front. He gets him going, and Ian Smith did not get moving there. A big checkup on the inside line as they try to figure things out. Ian Smith back here. As my timing and scoring jumping around, Ian Smith in the 5th position. He's got Bridal LaPrade right on his bumper, who gives him a shot. Ian's going to jump up to the high line here, and we're going to bring up our ticker so you can follow along with your favorite driver throughout the event. But right now it's Jimmy Mullis in the front, Connor Horn right there on the outside, battling with the 40 of Caden Rush, and those drivers all front runners at Indy as well as the weeks prior. And here comes Bridal LaPrade, big move down to the inside. He makes contact with Caden Rush. Oh, and he's going to go around. LaPrade hanging on to it. Oh, and they go spinning up at the top. The field stacking up. We see the 51. Oh my gosh, heavy contact for a lot of these drivers. And an early caution here. Chaos in Chicagoland. Let's see what happens. So the 18 of LaPrade down low. He gets on the apron a little contact there. Starts to lose the back. And looks like the 4 machine of Jake Bryan got turned around up high, and then everybody just piling in here. We see the 42 of Dylan all able to, I think, pretty much hang on to it, but I did see some other drivers, the 29 of Graham Boland The 90 of Malik Ray, he's already out of the event. He slammed the inside wall. Donovan Strauss involved in this. Let's see if we can get a better look at this. Anthony Burrows also caught up. And Anthony just gets sent around here. A little bit of damage on that race car, but not too terrible. Malik Ray, though, of course, I think the real loser on that situation. Let's see what happened to Malik. So he was back here quite a ways. Already damage on the race car. And he gets into the 29, trying to slow up. Man, that thing just slams the inside wall. Knocked the rear end right out of position, and I think that was enough for him to take it behind the wall. So it will not be back-to-back here. And at the front, Zach Nichols staying on the racetrack. Everybody else is taking it down pit lane. And we'll see if there's any kind of two-tire strategy or four-tire call for these guys. No two-tire takers at the moment. It's going to be Jimmy Mullis winning the battle off of pit lane. Right there behind him, Caden Rush. But already under caution, number 1. And I don't think I would have expected that. I know the V-Speed drivers, Chris Simard, Keith Mayato, were saying that it was a little bit chaotic when they were doing some pit parties earlier before the race got started. But we are working under caution number 1 here. And take this moment for you to shout out your favorite driver racing out here tonight. We've already got one fan cheering on Caden Rush. And cheer on your favorite driver, make your pick for who's going to win, and we'll try and follow along with them throughout the event here tonight. And of course, fan favorite Derek Justice back here in the 8th position. I don't see Justin Botello on the racetrack. Looks like he did not start the event. So Justin not going to be in this one. Briar LaPrade getting damage fixed. He's catching up to the back of the pack now. We have kart racer cheering on Vicente Salas, who currently rides in the 19th position on the pit lane, though. Looks like he is going to go a lap down if he's not careful here. But pace car lights are off. The field's going to get the green flag here next time around to start lap number 6. And I ran a race earlier with Jimmy here, actually at Phoenix in the A car early on, and he came from the back to the front, showing his skills at a much different style racetrack than this. But he drove right on past me on one of those restarts. And right now he's going to lead the field back to this restart. And we've already got a handful of drivers out. But Mullis gets him going. Caden Rush on the outside. Underneath, it's Nicholas Short trying to get up there and challenge for that second position. But it's going to be a little bit like pack racing here for the first 4 or 5 laps. Then we'll start to see these guys single file it out. But the top 4 go single file. Here goes Caden Rush now peeking back to the outside. Oh, and he turns the 99 of Nicholas Short into the field. And he goes spinning. And quite a few others involved in this, I think. Yeah, we'd be lucky if it was just him, but I do see the 34 of Michael Fenlison right there, also involved. Let's go back and see what happened with 2 cautions early on. Derek Justice involved in this. You see the 99 bouncing off the 32 of Hustad gets a part of it. Chris Simard and Derek Justice. It doesn't look like Derek has too much damage on that race car. And thank you, King Sloshbuckler, for the subscription. Thanks for tuning in here tonight and supporting V-Speed. Appreciate that a lot. As to see if these guys come down pit lane. Derek Justice off the pace. Not sure if his engine expired. he's just letting people by. I think that has to do with the pace speed here. But Caden Rush staying out on the racetrack along with a handful of others. Jimmy Mullis brings it back down pit lane, even with just 1 lap on the tires, not even. So back under caution, 2 cautions already. And the 99, Nicholas Short, he's pulling off of the pit lane. Not sure what's going on there, but you can see that car tracking about 45 degrees. He's dragging the tires the whole way, so that is not going to work. And he's definitely not going to meet minimum speed, so I'm not sure what he's really trying to do here, but that is putting that car in danger, blowing its engine. And Derek Justice is in on the pit lane now, rolling off. He's going to beat Bridal Pratt off. Thank you for the bits, King Sloshbuckler. Appreciate that, and that might even put you at the top of the leaderboard here. And if you are a consistent viewer here on VSpeed, we do have something that you can check out, a little bit of a ranking system. You get your VSpeed points. I think if you put in exclamation point points, yeah, you actually can see your VSpeed rewards amount. And we're going to be figuring out some prizes and some giveaways to do for you to be able to redeem with those points to show our appreciation for you tuning in. So pretty cool feature here that we built in not too long ago. Right now, out in front of the field, Caden Rush leading these guys. Caden started 6th. He's led a couple laps here, and now at the front of the pack, going to lead the field to the green flag. Not this time, but maybe the next time around. And I'm just going to take a look at our standings coming into tonight's event. We haven't really created our point standings graphics yet for this series, but 7 races in, we are about a third of the way through the season. And right now, Caden Rush, he had a really good run going last week, but he sits tied for 32nd in the points. Only 4 starts on the season, and his best finish being at Texas, finishing in 12th. But he led 52 laps last week at Indianapolis, so looking to be able to finish this one out. He didn't get a good finishing spot there because of some late chaos, but he actually brings it down the pit lane. So Jonathan Hernandez is going to remain on the track with about 5 other drivers. So Jonathan Hernandez is going to lead the field here with Jeremy Miller on the outside. And Anthony Burrows, your points leader. Colin Keister, who I believe won the opener at Texas. He did, leading 126 out of the 150 laps. But he's only made 3 starts. He currently sits all the way back in 38th position in points. So Colin looking for another good run here. As besides the win, he has not finished better than 29th in any of his other races. So see what he can do here tonight at Chicagoland. But yeah, I do believe it may be a race of attrition with 2 cautions already, taking out a handful of drivers. We've got 24 on the lead lap out of the 30 that started. And the idiot of Jonathan Hernandez gets us back going under green. On the outside, Jeremy Miller stacking him up there. Colin Keister looking a little bit low, but he's going to stay right on the bumper now. Peaks high. And I think patience is going to be a big factor here. But everybody wants that clean air, and obviously a few drivers have paid the price. Jimmy Mullis right here in 11th position, your pole sitter. He's trying to make his way back up there, racing side by side with the 14 of Vicente Salas as they go really 2-3 wide down the front straightaway. Chris Samard in the middle. Derek Justice now to the outside. There's Keith Mayato, who's got damage on the nose of that race car, and he's got Wade Hustad closing in on his back bumper. So a few drivers with damage in the middle of all this. Jonathan Hernandez at the front, though. Here comes Colin Keister. Thank you, Swamp Man, for the follow. Appreciate you tuning in and supporting us. But Jonathan Hernandez able to hang on to this lead over Anthony Burrows and Keith Mayato. A couple race winners there behind him. And we see Jonathan run over at the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series, where he's been very successful this season, but has not had quite the success here in the NORSEFORCE Series. We'll see what he can do. Maybe this is his breakaway night. As the 18 of Briar LaPrade made a little bit of contact with the 72 of Eric Royce right there on the back straightaway. They're able to continue onwards, but you can see that mess up in front of them. Derek Justice, Jimmy Mullis now making their way up here inside the top 10 and headed towards the top 5. Mullis working that high line, trying to get up there, and he is closing in rapidly on the back bumper of Colin Keister. Now Keister to the inside. That's going to shift the 88 up to the high line. And Keister able to keep it down there on that low line. See if the 88's able to cross him over here. Pull the same move that Keister pulled on him. Not going to be able to do it this time. 14 laps in the books here. And Jonathan Hernandez now the late dive to the inside. Gonna send it way in there, almost contact. He's gonna have to slow up a lot. That will check up Anthony Burrows. Here comes Jimmy Mullis now up to second. A big run behind Keister. He's gonna look low. Headed into turn number 3, and they are 3 wide. Dylan Alt, Derek Justice, and Anthony Burrows. As Caden Rush right there behind them. Connor Horn got a massive run, the 8 machine. That Speedway Camaro has been very quick here. He comes in, I believe, second in points. And thank you for the bits, King Sloshbuckler. Once again, thank you. Caden Rush down low. Taking a look on Anthony Burrows, not able to make it work that time. But he will hang on to the 6th spot. As up front, Jimmy Mullis has taken the lead away. He's racing it up, though, with Colin Keister, and Keister working the outside line. I think eventually that might prevail. He's also got the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez not far behind him, giving him a push. Hernandez with a little blink there. Derek Justice right in line as well. But as these tires wear out, the high line going to be a very, very good place to be. The low line's going to have trouble making passes. Jonathan Hernandez off the pace up high. He's going to lose a couple spots. Here comes the 62 of Burrows, 3 wide. Caden Rush down low. The 40 tags that apron just a little, starting to wash up the racetrack. And the 62 of Burrows almost squeezed in between the two of them. Connor Horn looking for a way around. The 88 with connection problems here up in that high line. Still in the top 5, but I think he's just trying to get out of people's way by running up there. Meanwhile, at the front, Colin Keister has held on to the lead, but Mullis right there on the back bumper trying to shove him into the corner. But Keister has been very good at positioning himself with this new aero package. We saw it at Texas on that 1.5 miles. And I believe if he ran at Atlanta, he was running well. I'm not totally sure. He did run it at Atlanta. He started up in the top 10, led 22 of the laps there, but didn't end up finishing the race. So we'll see if he can close the deal out once again. But Caden Rush battling it up with Derek Justice back here for the 3rd and 4th positions. Doing a heck of a job battling it out side by side. And Anthony Burrows right there looking for a piece of that action. Back here outside the top 15, we've got the 08 of Michael Jeans. Wade Hustad dives to the inside right down next to the grass, and they are 3 wide here on the front straightaway. And Hustad kind of backing out of it as they race it out the 14 of Salas. The 08 of Jeans going to settle things there. Jeans will take the position away. And they will set their sights on the V-Speed drivers, Chris Smart, Keith Mayato, who run 13th and 14th. Briar LaPrade still with damage back here in the 18th position, not able to really advance. and he's side by side with Ty Bass, as now Hustad once again to the inside. This time he's not back out of it, but the 14 really pinches him down. Hustad able to keep the momentum down low. And he is almost there. Briar LaPrade down onto the apron. He's just going to let those guys pass. And not sure if he's bringing it down pit lane here. Looks like he will be, maybe to get damage fixed, maybe call it a night. We saw him do that at Indianapolis with heavy damage on the race car. Was not able to complete the race. So we'll see what Briar does here. But at the front, Colin Keister leading Jimmy Mullis. Caden Rush about a second back. And then Derek Justice about another half second back. So, oh, big wiggle there. Josh Lambert down in the grass. Oh, that's actually Jeremy Miller, the 30 machine. Let's see what happened here with Jeremy. Oh, he just tagged the wall out of turn 4. Able to hang on to it. Good save. But he loses quite a bit of track position. Now battling it up with Keith Mayato, Connor Horn, and Jake Bryan. But that 30 car definitely hurt. You can see his straightaway speed not quite up to par. Is Wade Hustad now charging underneath. They are 3 wide. And a handful of damaged cars back here. Connor Horn trying to find his way through. That car looks damaged as well. He's got right side damage. Oh, and almost contact there between Miller and Hustad. As the 30 on the apron there, he slides up the racetrack, the 14 into the wall, and he's going to lose it. The 14 of Vicente Salas, that's going to bring the caution out. He takes it straight behind the wall. And let's see exactly how he brought this out, how this all started. So really the 30 of Jeremy Miller gets loose down there. The 14 goes to avoid him, but no room left. And he turns it back into the wall a second time. That car just careening off the outside wall. And caution coming out for Vicente Salas. Good looking race car for him here tonight. That was a new paint scheme, and unfortunately it's not going to be able to show up in victory lane tonight as he takes it behind the wall. And we're already down to I believe 19 on the lead lap. Colin Keister at the front was not wanting to see that caution. He was hoping for a green flag run. And unfortunately, he is not going to get it. But they're going to take it to pit lane. We're going to go to a quick caution break, commercial break, and we will be right back.
At Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, we don't have fancy Madison Avenue advertising. We don't have famous Hollywood endorsements. We don't have mythical creatures as mascots. See, here at Crockett Creek, we're proud of what we don't have. No artificial preservatives or chemicals, gluten-free, and no added MSG. Just all natural, small batch protein made in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. Enjoy Crockett Creek Jerky, from our backyard to yours.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Okay, we're going to keep this quick.
Because at Blaze Pizza,
artisanal quality at crazy fast speed is what we're all about.
Fresh dough made from scratch daily.
Walk the line and choose any toppings you'd like.
It's all one price.
Then it's just 180 seconds in our blazing hot oven
For fast fire perfection.
That's Blaze Pizza. Sound good?
Then come check us out and build your own pizza at Blaze Pizza.
Back to the racetrack now. Pace car lights are still on, but I think we're going to get the one to go this time at the line. And of course, want to shout out all those sponsors once again. That's the Butt Kicker, where you can actually save 20% on your purchase using code NORSE20. So go on over and check out the Butt Kicker products. Some awesome immersion products you can add to pretty much any seat that you're using for any type of video gaming experience, whether it's your rig or just an office chair. They have lots of different products to increase immersion. And I've wanted one for a long time. It'd be pretty cool to have one, but you can save 20% on your purchase by using the code NORSE20. So appreciate those guys sponsoring and offering that deal to viewers here on the channel. And yeah, great products from those guys. We also want to shout out Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, Blaze Pizza, as well as Next Level Racing. Next Level Racing going to be giving away a rig here at some point throughout the season. I'm not sure if that's going to the champion or if it's for the All-Star race that they're doing, but they are going to be giving out a rig here. So that's definitely an awesome thing for these guys as well. A lot of incentives for these guys to come out here, perform well, put on a good race. But so far in this one, 3 cautions, 7 lead changes, and those first 2 cautions came in the first 6 laps. We had a nice little stint there. Colin Keister back out in front, wait for the pace car to take that hard left, and it does. And Keister gets on the accelerator and back up to speed they go here at Chicagoland. And the 62 of Anthony Burrows already looking to move forward. He goes to the inside of Caden Rush. That high performance motorsports 62 machine. And now he looks down low. The 40 of Caden Rush looking 3 wide, and they're going to go 3 wide. Colin Keister way up there by the wall. He's going to lose these positions, no doubt. Not sure what he's doing here, but he drops way back. Running way up by the wall here. He goes to 7th position now, but still racing it up out there. And maybe just dropping to the back of the pack. Didn't like what he saw in the early action, just taking a different approach. But at the front, Anthony Burrows, Caden Rush, side by side, just trying to get that lead position away, get that clean air benefit. And right now, Caden Rush doing a good job peeking the nose out in front. But here comes the 62 once again, and Dylan Alt trying to decide where to go. We see, I believe that was the 72 of Eric Royce who shot down the racetrack now to the inside of Connor Horn. And Connor trying to make up positions. He pitted a little bit later than everyone under that caution, so he started a little bit farther back in the pack here. But Colin Keister going to 16th. Not sure what Colin is doing other than just trying to play it safe, but he's looking for a solid points night either way, with only 19 cars still on the lead lap. And Nicholas Short back on the pit lane, so Nicholas is 17 laps down after starting in the 7th position. He takes it to pit lane. Not sure if he's going to call it a night, but Nicholas is out of contention here. And at the front, still raging on here, the 62 and the 40. Caden Rush up high, that Texas Roadhouse Camaro. He's getting a push from Dylan Alt, but just now able to clear the 62, and that's going to hurt Anthony if he can't get back underneath. Now he dives it in there, not able to get the nose under. And that is just going to take the air off of the front end and reduce the downforce on Anthony's car. But here comes Jonathan Hernandez down low to give him a push down the straightaway. And now he looks back to the inside, battling it out here for second and third, fourth, and fifth. As Caden Rush has control over these guys at the moment. And the longer he's out there, the more he's going to start to stretch away, as we've got a few laps on the tires. Josh Lambert up here on the outside of Jonathan Hernandez, the 88 drifting up the racetrack. Here comes Ian Smith. He's going to go down low, maybe take it 3 wide into the corner, and he will. As Derek Justice trying to make his way forward too. He's just back here between Chris Simard and Ty Bass, not able to squeeze it up in between them, but Simard looking for a way around his teammate Keith Mayato. And those doors closing fast. Here goes Simard down to the inside. Mayato way up the racetrack. The 31 of Derek Justice really pinching down Chris. And he's going to drive right between those two V-Speed machines. Move Derek Justice up to the 7th spot as he tries to track down Ian Smith in 6th. Connor Horn now in the 11th position. He's racing up with the 97. Almost contact there. That was a close call. And these guys battling just outside the top 10, or just barely inside the top 10 rather. And you can see how much these cars start to push off of the corner as these runs progress. The 97 of Ty Bass here in the 10th spot. Connor Horn now moves to the 9th position with the nose out front, but here comes Wade Hustad looking to take it 3 wide down the front straightaway. And he will stay down there through turns 1 and 2. We'll see what kind of exit these guys get, but 3 wide at the moment. The 8 of Connor Horn getting sandwiched there. He's able to stay off of him. He'll tuck in behind Ty Bass. The 32 of Wade Hustad not able to do anything down there. Here comes Jake Bryan to the outside, but he swings it way wide here. I don't think he's going to make the corner, just barely stays off that wall. And that'll let Colin Keister right past. Keister now into the 12th position. He goes low on Wade Hustad. But he's going to start to feel the effects of the aerodynamics back here mid-pack. Not sure why he dropped back from the lead, but he was definitely the dominant car there for that previous run, and now he's mired in the mid-pack, but looks like he's still got speed as he gets right up next to Wade Hustad, puts the nose to the bumper of Connor Horn, and trying to find his way around. He goes to the inside now into turn number 1. I think he'll be able to grab this position, but Connor Horn working that middle line behind Chris Simard, who's working the high line. And some real good battling out here tonight. The 33 of Keister, the 8 of Horn, racing out for 10th and or 9th and 10th. They are starting to track down Chris Simard with his draft. Derek Justice now into the top 5, and at the front, Caden Rush continues to lead, but I think there was an issue. Maybe somebody got sideways, but Anthony Burrows racing out with Dylan Alt for 2nd. And Dylan having one of the best runs we've seen from him all season right here at Chicagoland, and started in 24th. He's up to 3rd, so obviously knows what he's doing around this speedway. Got a fast race car tonight. That proximity 42. Jonathan Hernandez holding down 4th place. Derek Justice not far behind. And Ian Smith right there battling it up with Josh Lambert. That is allowing those other drivers to close in. Keister into 8th position. And he continues to march back towards the front here, running the fastest times really of anybody here in the top 10. Even with the aerodynamic disadvantages, that time by was the fastest race car on the track by about a 1/2 tenth. And now the 21 machine of Josh Lambert looking for a place to slot in. He'll drop in behind the 28, but here comes Keister now to the inside. And Ian Smith running up high here. He's not one to really battle it out for too long. And now the 33 of Keister to the inside. The 21 of Lambert goes with him. And move Keister back to the 6th position. He's going to set his sights forward on Derek Justice, who's starting to chase down these other drivers. And the 40 of Caden Rush well out in front now, 2 seconds ahead of Anthony Burrows, but these two continue to battle, and that is only slowing them down. Now Dylan Alt looks to the inside, but Burrows is going to take second away for good, I think, as they make their way around Nicholas Short, who's well off the pace, currently about 70 miles an hour slower, and that is dangerous to be out there like that. He's going to bring it to the apron, get out of the way of the rest of the drivers making their way around, but good move there by Nicholas Short. So he realized that was going to be a tough one there. And RHS, I'm not sure if any of them are actually streaming tonight. Let me take a look. Looks like Derek Justice is racing. You can go check him out at Justice. He is racing this one up. You could maybe even do a multi-stream with his in-car view. Looks like Briar LaPrade is out of the race. He took it behind the wall a long time ago, so he was streaming this. Oh, Dylan Alt with an issue. Oh, he slams that outside wall, no caution. I see he was able to keep it pointed the right way, I think. Let's see what happened to Dylan here. He was battling for the 3rd position, gets on the apron, drifts way up the racetrack, hits that wall, and then trying to hang on to it. Very similar to what we saw from some other drivers. But that is going to cost him a lot of time, and he's going to drop all the way back here to the 19th position, last car on the track. Caution flies now. I believe the 33 of Colin Keister. So Colin Keister, trouble striking here. And Bottom Gaming, I do not see John Furness in the race, so I don't think he's here. Colin Keister with a big issue with Derek Justice. These two are battling it out here for positions inside the top 5, the 31, the 33. Keister down low, just gets a little bit tight off of corner exit. Derek right there with him. Oh, the 33 wiggles and then slams Derek into the wall. That is just so unfortunate for both of those drivers. And Keister takes it behind the wall. Derek Justice, let's kind of go to his in-car view here and see what happened with him. You can see the 33 just slams into him there. Nothing Derek could do. He's able to keep that car straight, and heavy damage though. 21 of Josh Lambert came up right behind him very quickly. Not sure if they made contact. Maybe a little tap on the bumper, but nothing too serious. That'll put us under caution one more time as you see Derek Justice make his way onto the pit lane into his box. Caden Rush leading the field here. And Caden having a great race once again. He was way out in front and definitely did not want to see that yellow flag fly, as that is caution number 4. And we've had 9 lead changes here, and thank you Playday for filling us in on that. As Caden Rush going to win the battle off of pit road. Jonathan Hernandez comes off in the 2nd spot. He'll beat Anthony Burrows, that 62 machine, who had a faster pit stop but must have just been a little bit slower into his box, or maybe not getting up to speed as quickly as Hernandez. Let's see if we can get a word in with let's see if we can get a word in with one of our V-Speed drivers, Chris Simard. Hey, Chris Simard, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Chris. Well, you find yourself in the top 10 here, and it's been kind of a chaotic race so far. What are you trying to do here to keep the car clean and make it to the end?
Honestly, I think I'm just gonna take it real easy. If someone wants to pass me, they can pass me. We've been going 3 wide for the whole race, and it's kind of scary up there. I'd rather keep my car clean for the most part and race at the end.
Yeah, I think with the high downforce packages and the lower horsepower too, the cleaner the car, the faster it is. But yeah, I mean, it's been chaotic, and we talked a little bit before the race. You said it was a bit loose early in the run and then tightens up. Are you still feeling the same kind of thing, the same progression early on in tonight's race?
Yeah, once you're in a big pack, you're at the start of a run. It's fairly loose, and then I don't know, 4 laps into it, it gets tight. And I tried to move up high, and it didn't really work that last run. So gotta have to try something different. Maybe save my stuff more. I don't know.
Yeah, we saw you working up there, and it looked like Colin Keister and a couple others were just catching you hand over fist. But he's still up here in the top 10. The car looks pretty clean, and I think you guys are going to get the one to go here. So good luck out there, Chris, and thanks for taking some time to talk to us.
Thanks, Adam. Hopefully I'll be there at the end.
Yep, and we'll hope to talk to you then.
10-4.
All right, that was Chris Simard riding in 9th position, one of our V-Speed drivers. Out here with his teammate Keith Mayato. Keith has quite a bit of nose damage, but the 2 V-Speed machines still out here and rolling as we are down to looks like 17 drivers on the lead lap. Dylan Parker being the last of them, and he's getting service completed on his vehicle. But we started with 30 drivers entering tonight's event. I think 29 took the green flag. And we had a caution almost straight away. We had 2 within the first 6 laps, and then we've had a couple decent little runs here. But the field is double file. Caden Rush out in front. Jonathan Hernandez here in the 2nd position. And we'll have to see what Jonathan has. He's led 5 laps here after an earlier pit strategy to stay out front. He did hang on to it for a little while and then kind of fell to around the top 5, where he's been the rest of the race so far. Derek Justice out on track. He was on pit lane for over a minute here, and I would expect that car to be well off the pace. But green flag back in the air. Caden Rush, Jonathan Hernandez get us going. Hernandez not a good restart. He's already lost 2nd spot to Anthony Burrows, who slips up in front of him. And Connor Horn goes to the inside right along that white line. And Hernandez is going to get freight trained here. Is now Ian Smith to the inside. And you can see these guys just run right down by that white line. Caden Rush, the sole car out in front. Here comes Connor Horn, though. Really big run out of turn 4. The 40 is going to throw the block. And where does the 8 go with the run? Does he try and make a move down low late? He will look down there, but nowhere to go as Caden Rush has him covered. The 62 of Anthony Burrows now up on the high line as he leads that line. The 88 of Jonathan Hernandez there to give him a push. And the top 8 all in a bunch here. And then we've got side by side between Chris Smart and Zach Nichols, that Crockett Creek Beef Jerky 44. Also the 48 of Matt Kemp and the Ally Camaro trying to make his way forward. But also the 97 of Ty Bass to the inside. Smart kind of, like you said, taking it easy, it looks like. And Jake Bryan has reeled him in with heavy damage. Derek Justice now closing in as well. So this battle's starting to heat up back here just outside of the top 10. But at the front, Caden Rush still hanging on. Connor Horn has not been able to move forward as he is stuck side by side with Anthony Burrows. And now Connor looks down low. The 40 goes up high, and he's actually going to elect the high lane out of the corner. So Connor with a big run down low. We'll see what he can do, but no help to push him forward. In the 40 of Rush going to hang on to that spot. Josh Lambert up here in the mix as well. That butt kicker number 21 doing a good job so far in this race. He's up from 15th position, so definitely strong run for him. We've got Wade Hustad, who also started outside the top 10, currently running in 8th. And Wade has had a couple solid runs here as of late. Not sure exactly where he ended up at Indianapolis, but he comes in 11th in points, finishing 15th at Indy, but had a much better run going than that finish would suggest. And Connor Horn now right to the back bumper of Caden Rush, not able to get there. The 40 now drifting up the track a little. The 8 really looking for some kind of a push here. He doesn't have any help from Ian Smith at the moment, and really just pulling a little side draft, I think, is now he gets alongside the 40. But Caden with such a strong run off that high line, able to kind of seal off those 2 behind him and jump back up in front of the 62, and he'll continue to lead the way. Really strong run. We saw the same type of driving from him at Texas, and as well as the last handful of races, Caden has been very strong, just not the finishes that he would have liked, and really looking for his first good run here. Anthony Burrows leading your points right there with his closest contender in the points, Connor Horn. Those 2 always finding their way to the front in these events and able to finish these races. And coming into the event tonight, the points gap between the 2 is 18. Anthony Burrows with the advantage. Jimmy Mullis in 3rd in points. He is 30 points back, but Jimmy is behind the wall here. He called it a night. He's going to finish in 21st, and that is not going to help him in the point standings. As these 2 continue to battle it out for 2nd, Jonathan Hernandez right there in their wake, and Caden Rush is pulling away now the gap 0.4 of a second, and that is only going to keep growing as they battle it out. Anthony Burrows now to the 2nd spot. He will make the pass on Connor Horn, but Connor right there on his back bumper. And we'll see if he can kind of do an over-under here, try and do the old switcheroo into turn 1. Not going to happen. And he'll stay right there in line. And the field working their way down the back straightaway now to complete, or working lap 63. You see the 21 of Josh Lambert on the outside of Ty Bass as they battle inside the top 10. The 97 washing up the track a little bit. But they remain off of each other. Oh, we see the 4 of Jake Bryan into the grass. Jake must have bounced it off the wall, and he did, coming out of turn 4, able to hang on to it, but I think that's the 2nd time that Jake has had that happen. After starting up in 2nd position, he has not had the race that he was hoping for, and he falls all the way to 17th now. And he is well off the pace at the moment, so hoping for some kind of a caution, I'm sure, to get the damage repaired, but nothing happening at the moment. Derek Justice into the top 10 again, and he's trying to chase down Lambert and Bass. And this is the view from the front end of Derek Justice. You can see just not able to close in, the car not turning like he'd like it to. And the 44, Zach Nichols, now swings to the inside, and Zach gonna move into the top 10. But Derek with a big run in the center of the corner, he's gonna get right back to the bumper. And Nicholas Short continuing to make some laps out here, but he is 28 laps off of your leaders and about 50 miles an hour off pace, so definitely not meeting minimum speed, but not really a hazard down on the apron. This is the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez, gonna battle it out with Ian Smith. Ian down low in the 88, working that high line, getting that momentum. And now Ian trying to make that pass. He swings it low here again. He gets a little bit sideways there. And trying to chase it, he'll drop in behind the 88 of Hernandez. Wade Hustad now battling to get inside the top 5. He's right there in 6th, knocking on the door. And Caden Rush pulling away now 0.8 of a second over Anthony Burrows. We'll see what kind of lap times he can put down here. This time at the line, Caden puts down a 30.96, one of only 2 drivers under the 31-second mark. The other one being Ian Smith in 4th position. And Ian often is a very strong long-run driver, but he's now losing a spot back to Jonathan Hernandez. Let's see, 88 got a huge run down the back straightaway. He's able to pull away by 2 or 3 car lengths, and Ian Smith in danger of losing 5th to Wade Hustad, as Connor Horn's starting to pull away from this group as well. But he's lost touch with Anthony Burrows, and they all are just separating a little bit more each and every lap. Now we're 3 wide back here inside the back half of the top 10. Michael Jeans, Josh Lambert, and Dylan Parker as the 25 nearly brushes the wall. So this group running out here, the 48 machine of Matt Kemp in the middle. That was a close call. Is now almost contact again with the 21, but he is fighting with Derek Justice, who's dropped outside of the top 10. And I think that damage playing a role on the Baskin-Robbins Camaro. But Matt Kemp starting to move forward. Let's see where Matt started tonight in 30th. Actually the last of the drivers to take the green flag here tonight, and he is working his way almost inside the top 10 now. Playing it safe for the first half of the races. We are past halfway, so you should shout out your favorite driver in chat so we can follow along. Try and predict who's going to win tonight here at Chicagoland. Looks like Caden Rush has the field pretty well covered in that Texas Roadhouse machine, but this is racing. Anything can happen, and Anthony Burrows, your points leader, stalking him from about a 1.5 seconds back now. So they put another lap on Nicholas Short, and Nicholas trying to gain a few more spots. Jake Bryan takes it behind the wall. That leaves 16 drivers on the lead lap, and Nicholas Short, if he can run about 25 more laps, he'll gain 3 positions. So he's just trying to work the system as much as possible, I think, and definitely slow lap times, but doing what he can here. Caden Rush, though, absolutely gapping everyone else. Now 1.25 seconds in front of Burrows. Connor Horn, another 0.5 second back. And Eric Royce, currently last driver on the lead lap. We have Bottom Gaming cheering him on in the chat. Yeah, he's currently riding in the 16th position after starting in 12th. A little damage. You can see the car wiggling there as he goes way down the racetrack. Not sure what's going on with the 72. He's just trying to feel that thing out, I think. Oh, yeah, very sideways as he brushes the wall. So Eric having trouble here, but the next driver's up in front of him, Keith Mayato, Chris Samar at the V-Speed machines. Not doing too much here. Chris with a bit of right side damage as he may have gotten the commentator curse there. That car really actually heavily damaged now on the right side. Michael Jeans here in 11th. He's battling it up with Derek Justice, who Bottom Gaming is also cheering for. Looks like we got a pretty good amount of viewers in here, so we want to just thank you all for tuning in tonight. This is V-Speed. My name is Adam Baker, and I'll be the commentator here tonight. We are live on Twitch right now, as we are many times throughout the week. You can also find us on YouTube, where we post race replays and other interesting content, automotive and racing related. You can also find us on Facebook, where we post race announcements before each and every broadcast. And we post those same announcements on Instagram and Twitter, as well as new merchandise and special events. And Derek Justice and the 08 of Michael Jean's really battling it out here. Just throwing punches at each other here outside the top 10. Justice trying to take over 11th. And they are battling it out door to door. No real advantage between the two, as the 08 a bit faster off of turn number 2, but Justice has been good on this end of the racetrack. And the 40 of Caden Rush now up to 1.5 seconds ahead over second. Anthony Burroughs, the 62 machine, who is stretched quite a ways away from Connor Horn, and Jonathan Hernandez and Ian Smith starting to close in on him. And Ian Smith comes into tonight's race 6th in points. Jonathan Hernandez back in 30th, tied for that position in points. So this is his best performance of the season. Up here in the top 5, hoping he can finish this one out. Zach Nichols 7th here. He comes in 16th in points. Wade Hustad in 11th, sandwiched between Chris Smart and Keith Maiato. Ty Bass, 28th in points right now, and the 48 of Matt Kemp. Trying to find him here. He is 4th in points, so Matt quietly having an incredible year. He's up 20 spots tonight, but 3 top 10s and a top 5 in the first 6 races. But he's pretty much run every single lap. So doing a good job to just complete these races or get as many laps in as possible. And his worst finish this season is 13th. So 48 finding a way to finish these things out. As they continue to make laps around here, Caden Rush almost 2 seconds ahead of Anthony Burroughs, and 30 laps on this stint. With about 50 laps to go. They should be making a pit stop here in probably about 10 laps to split this in half. And now the battle on from 4th as Ian Smith goes down low. We saw these guys duking it out earlier. And Zach Nichols is already taking it down pit lane, I think. That 44 machine. Actually, no, Zach is up here on the lead lap. I wasn't seeing him on my scoring, but he is 6th. And he's putting pressure on the 28 of Ian Smith. So Zach having a good run here. And he has kind of come from the back as well, up from 26th in that Crockett Creek beef jerky machine. Sporting those sponsors' colors. Good looking race car tonight. He's going to go by the 28 of Ian Smith, not able to fully complete the pass. Now he's going to slide up in front. A little bit of a slide job there out of turn 4, and he sets his sights on Jonathan Hernandez, but now inside the top 5. It's that 44 of Zach Nichols. And Anthony Burroughs a long ways to go to catch up to the leader, but not really losing as much time at this point. Caden Rush was working around a lap driver. Right there, I believe that was Eric Royce. It was Eric Royce, who goes a lap down now in 16th position. And Ty Bass coming down pit lane. He's the first driver to do so. That 97 car pretty damaged, and I'd expect him to just be trying to get some of that fixed and maybe try and use the fresh tires to gain a little bit of time back. Oh, as he overshoots his pit box majorly. Now a little too far back. Now he gets it centered, but actually taking it behind the wall. Obviously didn't feel that it was going to be a competitive race car or really worth the run out there. Takes it behind the wall. And he's going to be done for the night, it looks like. At least Chris Simard, the last driver on the lead lap, about 12 seconds off your leader. Michael Jean's in 13th here. He's racing it out. Eric Royce up on the high line. And Jean's going to drive right on past Keith Maiato. Able to move up now to 12th position. And starting to close in on Josh Lambert and Derek Justice. Justice holding on to 10th position right now. A big wiggle going down into the corner there. And Josh Lambert all over the back bumper. Now, obviously Derek with a lot of damage from that earlier incident with Colin Keister. And Nicholas Short on pit lane here. He's been on pit road for about 5 minutes. Not sure if the engine expired on that thing. So he is sitting there for a while at least, and so close to gaining a few positions. He was only 2 laps from gaining 2 positions. And we'll have to see if he makes it back out on the racetrack. But right now, Caden Rush setting a rapid pace. Currently about a tenth or 2 faster than almost anyone except Zach Nichols, who is the fastest car on the racetrack. About a 10th faster than your leader. So Zach is moving forward now, trying to take 3rd away from Connor Horn. And that Crockett Creek machine very fast here tonight. I'm sure he's going to want to run this paint scheme each and every race. It's been good luck for him tonight. The car is totally clean. And he is making a charge towards the front. A little wiggle out of turn number 4 there as he is in the wake of the 8 machine. And cars have been pretty loose in the draft tonight, which is kind of the opposite of what you'd expect, but just the nature of this racetrack. As he takes it to the inside once again, Connor Horn with a big run out of the turn. But Zach Nichols not going away. He looks to the inside again here. The 8 trying to slow him up, and he will throw the block into the corner. But Connor pretty tight out of the corner. That's going to allow the 44 right to the bumper. Down the front straightaway, he gives him a shot going into the corner, letting him know he's there and he's faster. You're slowing me up. Nichols down low, trying to do something, but meanwhile Ian Smith has made his way around Jonathan Hernandez, so the 88 starting to drop here on this long run. And Nicholas Short continues to sit on pit lane, so I'm thinking he may have blown the engine on that car. Massive damage on it, and he continues to ride there. Wade Hustad bringing it down pit lane, though. He's the second driver to do so. We'll see if he gets into his box a little bit better than Ty Bass. But he comes in from just outside the top 10, I believe. And nicely into his box there. Let's see who decides to bring it down next, but Caden Rush going to just bypass him. He's not coming down this time. And under 40 to go. We are pretty much in the window for when these guys should make the pit stop, but I don't know what the strategy call is here. It seems like the cars are fairly even as Zach Nichols is finally able to complete the pass on Connor Horn. He is the only driver under a 31.5 and currently fastest on the racetrack once again, even while making that pass. So a lot of speed in that Ford Mustang. As Michael Jean's bringing it down pit lane. I think he's already completed his stop. Wade Hustad back on the racetrack. He pulls up in front of Chris Simard, who is about a lap in front of him here. Hustad, the first driver, 1 lap down, and Simard, the last driver, on the lead lap. Watching to see who comes in. Ian Smith trying to get on pit lane. Oh, a little bit too hot, and he's going to keep it out of the grass, but no doubt in my mind that's going to be a speeding penalty. So Ian Smith, who had just taken 5th position away, going to cost him a bit of time here. Caden Rush, we'll see when he brings it down. Not going to be this time. Once again, Nicholas Short is back on the racetrack, and he is just about to gain another spot. He'll move Short up to 18th, so perseverance paying dividends here. As Ian Smith actually gets going, no penalty on the 28, somehow no penalty. But definitely cost him some time getting in there so hot. And Wade Hustad starting to close in. We'll see if Wade can get up here and take that spot away. Looks like he'll go right on around. And Chris Samard bringing it to pit lane now, getting service on that 37 car. Heavy damage on the right side, and looking to get some of that time back that he lost from getting into the wall. Caden Rush bringing it down the back straightaway again, almost a lap 100. He has been the dominant driver, leading 68 of the 97. So about 2/3 of this race have been in the hands of Caden Rush. He continues to make laps, not going to bring it down this time, and we'll see if any of these drivers behind him elect to take it down the pit lane, and does not look like it. Josh Lambert will, actually, as he slows it way up. Keith Mayato also coming in with him. So the last few drivers on the lead lap here coming down onto the pit lane and hoping to make up some time from where they were running, but we'll definitely lose 1 or 2 laps. Keith Mayato overshooting the box by quite a bit there. He gets it stationed in the pit stall after backing up quickly. And we'll see when the 40 brings it down here. He's probably waiting for the drivers behind him to make the move first. But about 50 laps on these tires and fuel. I'm not totally sure when that move is going to happen. As I do not see anybody making the move just yet. Now it looks like possibly Dylan Parker. He will bring it down. And really woeing that thing up. He's going to make it on safely. And he will get lapped here. Caden Rush coming through turns 3 and 4 now. And Caden going to bring it down pit lane this time, so probably just stretching it as far as he could. He's flying in. I think he slowed it up enough. But really hot onto the pit lane. That hands the lead over to Anthony Burrows. Zach Nichols was really closing in. He was almost there. About 2/10 a lap faster than Burrows. And that gap just about a half second, but the 44 on fire. And he's not sporting the Blaze Pizza colors tonight, but that Crockett Creek machine really, really quick here as Anthony Burrows going to bring it down. And still a handful of drivers have not brought it down yet. Jonathan Hernandez takes it in now. And Derek Justice going to come in. He's coming in really hot, locks the brakes up. But only 2 drivers left to pit. That is Zach Nichols and Matt Kemp, the 44 and 48 machines. And they have both moved forward massively since the start of this race. You can see Caden Rush right there behind him. He puts himself back on the lead lap. Oh, Matt Kemp trying to get it slowed up. He does. But maybe a penalty. We'll have to see. He brings it into his box. She overshoots the box. Zach Nichols nicely into his box. Matt Kemp really hurting himself there, still trying to get it in the box, costing himself precious time. That's probably about 10 seconds that he just cost himself. And there may still be a penalty on top of it. I'm not totally sure. But Nichols nicely out of the box. Here comes Caden Rush across the start-finish line. He's going to regain the lead as Zach Nichols still making his way off of pit lane. He's going to come out in 3rd right now. Wade Hustad on the back bumper. But Caden Rush just pulling away now. And Eric Royce making it back out on the racetrack. So a lot of mixed strategies. Zach Nichols and Matt Kemp, drivers on the freshest tires. Kemp did not get a speeding penalty. Next time by will be 25 to go, and Zach Nichols slots in line between Anthony Burrows and Connor Horn, but Connor with a huge run on this front straightaway here. And Zach working with those fresh tires that can be pretty loose. The 8 giving him a big push here. He's going to go for that pass on Anthony Burrows now. He'll just drive right underneath, not able to complete the pass just yet. But Zach having an incredible race and probably the biggest mover now that the 48 has had some issues. But he has a long ways to go. 5.5 seconds to catch up to Caden Rush. And about 3 seconds to catch up to Ian Smith, who rides in third. And on fresher tires than Wade Husted. I think Ian's going to get to second here. With 62, not letting the 44 pass all that easily. And Zach probably not appreciating that. He knows he's got fresher tires as the 99 was way down in the grass. And they're going to make their way around Eric Royce. Anthony Burrows is going to give a big push here to Zach Nichols down the back straightaway. And Zach moves into the 4th position. They're gaining time on your leader. Last time by about 2/10 faster. This time by about 4/10, so under 5 seconds the gap, and they're working this draft to perfection. Just chopping time off so quickly here. So could it be one of these three? Can they make it back to Caden Rush? Wade Husted, Ian Smith have older tires, and they are losing time to Caden. But these 3 drivers consistently lapping under 30-second laps. You can see those 2 battling it out for second. Ian Smith goes straight on past Wade Husted. And Zach Nichols not far behind, only 4.3 seconds back from Caden Rush. He is just flying like a rocket right now. The 44 goes to the inside. It's not even going to be any contest as he goes straight past and now puts his car behind Ian Smith. Now just drives right on past him. So the 44 is flying. Here comes Anthony Burrows moving right along with them. And the 8 of Connor Horn right in the mix as well. They are still closing in, but it's 4.1 seconds the gap, about what it was before they went to pit stops. Zach with just a lap or 2 fresher tires. I'm not sure it's going to be enough to get him there, but he's been very good on the long run. And that gap continues to shrink now, almost under 4 seconds. See Caden off in the distance. Now the gap under 4 seconds. That's still a long ways to go. Let's take a look back here at the tail end of the top 10. Derek Justice in the 10th position after starting in 27th. He's got heavy damage, but still riding it out. Keith Mayato up here in the 12th position. Chris Samard in 13th. And all but 2 drivers on the racetrack on the lead lap. So 14 drivers on the lead lap. Matt Kemp actually making that pass. He's going to put Chris Samard into that position now. But Matt with much fresher tires than Chris. And Eric Royce 2 laps off the pace. He's currently drafting with Dylan Parker, and Dylan riding in the 7th spot. So good run going for Dylan. He's maybe his best run of the year. He comes in 14th in points. He does have 2 top 10s on the season, but also 3 finishes 22nd or worse. So looking for another solid top 10 run here as he's drafting it up with Eric Royce, trying to chase down Wade Husted, and he has fresher tires than Wade, so he'll probably get him here, maybe even get to Ian Smith. But Zach Nichols continues to shave down the gap. It's 3.4 seconds, and it'll be 16 to go at the line. It is possible that he gets there, but his lap time is going to start to equalize a bit. Caden Rush with a bad lap the last couple laps, and Zach about a 1/10.5 faster that time. But it's going to take 2 or 3/10 a lap to get there and pass him. So we'll see if he's got it in him. He was the fastest at the end of the long run before, but this one's going to be a bit shorter. Only about 35 laps on this stint, if even that. And Caden Rush remains in control here. He's hoping that pitting slightly earlier, gaining that time, it's going to pay off in the end, and he's looking to lead about 100 laps here if he can lead it to the finish. Dylan Parker goes right on past Wade Hustad, and Eric Royce now working on the inside of Wade. Go up there and join his drafting partner, drafting partner, Dylan Parker, as they are trying to get into the top 5. And that gap now under 2.7 seconds. Zach Nichols closing in. This is what it looks like out the windshield. You can see that black speck up there is Caden Rush, but the gap is closing. Last time by, Caden 3/10 slower than Zach. So whatever Zach is doing, he's got this thing figured out. Started in 26th. He's looking for the win. 2.5 seconds back now. With 13 to go. He swings it right down by that white line. Caden Rush. Let's see what his car is doing out here. Just a little bit more gentle on and off the throttle, and that time about a 1/10.5. This time by just about a 1/10 faster for Zach Nichols, so maybe starting to equalize a little bit as he gets right down by the white line. Really tight out of the corner, but continuing to shave time off, and it's under 2.5 seconds, but starting to equalize. And he's pulled right away from Anthony Burrows. That time a little bit loose out of the corner. But still about a 1/10 faster, so he is gaining. But at that rate, it's not going to be enough. He'll come up about a 1.5 seconds short. But unless there's some kind of massive fall off that happens here in about 5 laps, I think Caden Rush is going to be the one to take it. It's his race to lose. And he's run almost a flawless race to this point. Nicholas Short, who continues to ride out here, 47 laps down. He's gotten a little bit of that damage fixed, and he's looking to maybe finish. I think he's in the position that he can get. 17th is the highest that he can get, so still making something out of this race after that car is absolutely destroyed early on. He has done his best to continue on out here. Is now Zach Nichols approaching 2 seconds behind, but he had to slow up quite a bit there. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Still about 800ths faster, but not as fast on the start of this lap. He is losing a little bit into turn 1. Gains it back out of turn number 2. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get to Caden. He's 2.1 back, and with coming to 8 to go, you guys think he can do it? Who thinks he can do it? I think that he's going to come up a little short, but the more pressure he puts on Caden, the more potential for Caden to make mistakes, as he is still running out here about 2 seconds ahead. And Zach, I think, got a little sideways out of turn 2, and he loses a bit of ground now as he's closed in, just pushing so hard. Swinging it right down on that white line. He's doing everything he can. Right up next to the grass, working every inch of racetrack that he can. 7 to go now. The gap, 2 seconds. He's gonna have to find something here. I don't think he's got enough to find, though. Anthony Burrows way far back, no pressure at all on him. Connor Horn another 2 seconds back, and he's got 5 seconds over Dylan Parker, who's up here in the top 5, looking for his first top 5 of the season. His best finish so far this year, 6th at Martinsville. But Ian Smith, Jonathan Hernandez also right around here. Jonathan with fresher tires than those two in front of him. He's looking to get up there and get a top 5 for himself. And if you haven't already, please consider following or subscribing to the channel here, as we are now on 5 to go. Caden Rush out in front. The gap 1.8 seconds back to Zach Nichols, who's charged from over 5.5 seconds back. Really pushing that car. You can see how sideways he's getting, just trying to drive that thing off the turn. And 1.6 seconds the gap. He's closed in, but now losing the time off of turn 2 because of that slide. But yeah, he is really pushing that thing, and I think he's used up all the tires he's got. Now the gap's starting to spread back out. 2 seconds the gap out of turn number 4. 4 laps to go. He's got to find half a second a lap, and I just don't think it's possible. But reeling off about 2/10 right there through 1 and 2. Caden Rush looking solid, coming to 3 to go. Nobody's really racing it up. Closest battles between Derek Justice and Matt Kemp, and that is about 4/10 of a gap, or 4/10 of a second gap. Also, Jonathan Hernandez. Actually, this could be something. We'll see what happens between these guys racing out for 6th and 7th. Jonathan Hernandez in the 88 down low. Ian Smith up high. Jonathan sends it way down in there, trying to keep it off the 28. And out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, they continue to race it out side by side. And Jonathan will tuck it in line as we take 2 to go now. Caden Rush out in front. He's hoping to get to that white flag. And Zach Nichols not close enough. Actually, Caden's starting to close in on Chris Samard. Chris about 28.5 seconds back off your leader, but he's going to be able to survive and finish on the lead lap here as Caden not able to get to him, and white flag in the air. Caden Rush looking, oh, Zach Nichols with an issue out of turn 4. He loses a lot of time. Maybe not. I saw some kind of a connection issue. He's still about 1.7 seconds back, but not close enough to make any kind of move. Caden Rush looking for his first victory in the NORSEFORCE Valhalla Cup Series, working through 3 and 4. Caden Rush, dominant race going last week at Indy, not able to close it out, but here he does at Chicagoland. Caden Rush wins race number 7 in the Valhalla Cup Series. Congratulations to Mr. Caden Rush. He brings it around the backstretch here. And looking to make his way around to do a victory burnout. Big congratulations to Caden Rush. And thank you, RHS. Appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the support here tonight. Again, a big congratulations there as Caden now burning it down here at Chicagoland. 98 laps led, started in 6th, and was really the man to beat. After those first couple cautions, he took control and did not give it up. But we are going to cut quickly to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with your post-race interviews.
Okay, we're going to keep this quick.
Because at Blaze Pizza,
artisanal quality at crazy fast speed is what we're all about.
Fresh dough made from scratch daily.
Walk the line and choose any toppings you'd like.
It's all one price.
Then it's just 180 seconds in our blazing hot oven
For fast fire perfection.
That's Blaze Pizza. Sound good?
Then come check us out and build your own pizza at Blaze Pizza.
At Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, we don't have fancy Madison Avenue advertising. We don't have famous Hollywood endorsements. We don't have mythical creatures as mascots. See, here at Crockett Creek, we're proud of what we don't have. No artificial preservatives or chemicals, gluten-free, and no added MSG. Just all natural, small batch protein made in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. Enjoy Crockett Creek Jerky, from our backyard to yours.
All right, and we are back. Gonna bring it in your winner here tonight, Caden Rush. This is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Caden, you had a great race last week, and it didn't work out for you in the end. But tonight, a dominant performance, and just how good is it to close this one out here tonight after such a strong run?
Yeah, the whole second half of the race went green, and honestly, after leading the most laps at Indy and just having the whole end of the race happen, no matter whose fault it was, it didn't really matter. But it was crazy at the end. Everybody was just jostling for position. I think the end of this race and just the whole second half validates it. I was actually really scared that the 44 was catching me there at the end, because he had about 2-3 lap fresher tires, and he was really, really fast in the long run, and he was reeling me in.
Yeah, he was definitely moving forward each and every run, and we were trying to watch that gap, but it looked like he maybe stayed out 1 or 2 laps too long. It took him out of contention really, because he had to make up that distance. But you were out front after those first couple cautions, and really never gave up that lead again. So was the clean air just that important, or how hard was it to keep the car out front?
I think after about 10-15 laps is when it really started to matter, because that's when you would really start sliding across the racetrack, and you'd just be breaking the rears. That's really what it came down to. You could pass in clean air and be faster. I think Zach showed that, and he did a really good job of that. It's all about making sure you don't slide across the racetrack and you're just in it as much as you can without actually losing time.
Yeah, and he was starting to get real loose. You could see he had burned up the tires, even just trying to close that gap. But you were running out there, nice consistent pace, and able to hang on to it here. But you know, you've been in 4 races so far this season, and no top 10s to show for it. You've led a decent amount of laps here, but you know, just how good is it to get the monkey off the back and show that you can be competitive here with this series?
Yeah, the first couple races, as I mentioned last week, they were extremely frustrating because I knew I had the speed, and it was just frustrating. Auto Club wreck on the first lap, Atlanta wreck on lap 2, Indy last week led most of the race, and just stuff happened at the end of the race, regardless of once again whoever's fault it was. So I think to win here and just do it in the way I did, despite if some of the guys may have gotten in incidents and stuff, I think to be the fastest car in the second half of the race, it felt really good.
Yeah, and it definitely showed that you've got the speed to contend with these guys. But we go to Daytona next week, and what are your thoughts on going out there?
Yeah, I'm more of a Talladega guy, but Daytona's definitely interesting. It's gonna be crazy with just how everybody's gonna be jostling for position. It's gonna give some guys a better chance to win. Obviously, that's just what the restrictor plates do. I don't expect to really run up front the whole time, nor do I expect to really finish that good. I know a lot of guys next week are really gonna be good near the end of the race, and just in general, it's gonna be mainly guys like Malik. He's probably one of the best plate racers on iRacing. Jimmy too as well. Jimmy's really good, and Anthony as well. Anthony's pretty good at him. Donovan Strauss as well. I just think it's gonna be a mix-up, and I think you're probably gonna see a surprise winner if some crazy stuff happens.
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of the beast there in Daytona, and you know, usually the cream rises to the top there, but you do have those other guys that kind of sneak in, and then they're up there in contention. You never know what can happen, so gonna be a fun one for sure. But you know, you come home the winner here tonight. You started up in 6th position, and once you took the lead, you really never gave it up, leading 98 laps. Anybody you want to give a shout out to that made tonight's victory possible?
Just Mosby's Towing and Transport LLC and Jet Towing LLC. They're the people that sponsored me during Ignite over the summer and into August, and they're really probably the first real sponsors I've had in any form of racing, whether it be real life or on the sim. They really did support me through Ignite and stuff, and I really do appreciate them allowing me to represent their company.
Awesome, Caden. Well, congratulations once again on the victory here tonight. Great run for you, and we will catch up with you next week at Daytona.
Thank you, sir.
That was your winner here tonight, Caden Rush, finally getting the monkey off his back after a really good run last week at Indy. Didn't finish the way he'd like it to. He comes home the winner tonight. Now let's go to 2nd place finisher, Zach Nichols. Zach Nichols, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Zach, you were closing in fast there, just not quite enough to get up to Caden. But you know, what did you find there on those long runs that was able to you know, keep the tires underneath the car and allow you to just gain on all those guys?
Yeah, one of my teammates, Matt Kemp, he said to me if you just kind of stayed back in the pack, not like in the draft or anything, you wouldn't really, the car wouldn't push as bad and save the front tires good. So yeah, we kind of stayed back there throughout like a couple, like 5 to 10 laps. We started to go back forward, and I guess like it saved the tires a lot better than the people that were in the pack. So we just kind of picked them off one by one, and we got lucky that green flag came out.
Yeah, we saw Matt also moving up there with you. Unfortunately, he had the pit road mistake, but still came home with the top 10, so good run for him. And we saw Colin Keister kind of pulled the same tactic, and unfortunately, he got basically, you know, he wrecked out of it racing there with Derek Justice. And you know, was it hard to navigate the pack with this aero package the way it was? Was it hard to make passes, or were you finding something, you know, a way around those guys?
Yeah, it was definitely hard getting past a couple of the people. There was a lot of respect today. Like, you get up behind someone because you you catch them from quite a far back, and they just let you by, which was really cool. But yeah, it was hard passing some, and it was easy passing the others.
Yeah, and you made it look easy either way. You know, you came out of the pits, I think 5th or 6th possibly, and you drove straight on past some of those guys, and just a joy to watch you work the long run speed there, and you know, you eventually made it to 2nd here. Led a couple laps, but you started all the way back there in 26th, so it's going to be a big confidence booster, I'm sure, as we head to Daytona next week. What are your thoughts on going out there?
I usually wreck out at Daytona or something. I'm not very good there, I guess. I mean, it's not hard to be good at, or it's not hard to be good at Daytona or Talladega, but yeah, we usually just get involved in the big ones. So I think that's where we might be.
Yeah, it's basically 50-50, you know, chance going into those tracks that you're going to get taken out. But you know, really strong run for you here tonight. You've had some good races so far this season, and you know, this is, I think, really your best so far. But anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's 2nd place run?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Paul's Cars Performance Head and Pro Fleet Transport. They sponsor my real life racing. I'd like to thank you for broadcasting. I like to go back and like watch all the races and stuff. I'd like to thank the league admins for putting the league on, and I'd also like to congratulate Caden Rush on the win. Awesome,
Zach. Well, congratulations on 2nd place. You know, a fun race. You put on a show for us, making your way through the pack there, and you know, go celebrate. And we'll catch up with you next week.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was 2nd place finisher Zach Nichols. Let's go to 3rd place finisher, your points leader here tonight, or at least coming into the race. That is Anthony Burrows. This is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Anthony, another strong run for you here in the first third of this season. You start back in 21st, finish in 3rd here tonight. Give us a rundown of how your race went.
Yeah, that's definitely a wild one. I attempted to get 2 laps in qualifying, but just didn't quite have the time to. So it started like 21st, I'm pretty sure. Got like 9 spots off the first lap. Things were going pretty good, and then got caught up in that wreck out of 2. I kind of thought my night was done from there, but only had like 30 seconds of damage, so I took all of it, and just kept avoiding the wrecks after that. Found myself at the front and just stayed there really that whole last run to the end.
Yeah, and you were right up in contention. Just didn't look like he had quite enough for Caden on the long run as he would start to pull away. But how much do you think the clean air was a factor there, and you think the damage was what was holding you back?
The cleaner is obviously a lot, especially as it goes into nighttime, I think, after about 10 laps. But yeah, my damage was definitely holding me back quite a bit. But I don't want to take away from Caden, though. I mean, he drove a heck of a race. He deserved that one. But yeah, I want to see what would have happened if I didn't have that damage. I think that could have been a bit closer. But yeah, Caden and Zach were on a whole nother level pretty much that whole last run.
Yeah, it was fun to watch you guys battle up there in the top 5. You were side by side with Connor Horn and Jonathan Hernandez a lot there, and putting on a great show for us up in the booth here. But this is your 7th straight top 10 and your 4th straight top 5. So just, you know, a great start to this season, and you know, just how much confidence do you have going in each and every week, knowing that you've got this speed so far?
Definitely feeling pretty good. Each one of these races I didn't really expect to finish top 5, considering like how strong the field is. But hopefully I can keep it up going to Daytona next week. That's always a wild card. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to stay out of the trouble there, and hopefully I can find myself there at the end.
Yeah, 10-4, and you know, if this season's results are any you know, any indication, I think you'll probably you might make it out of there even with another top 5 or top 10. So congratulations on 3rd place here tonight. Anybody you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, definitely shout out to Caden for getting the win tonight. Shout out to my team, HPM. I think some of them might be. Shout out to Zach too. He drove a great race. Thought he was gonna get Caden there at the end. Shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast too, as always, and thanks everyone for watching.
Awesome, Anthony. Well, congratulations once again on another top 5, another top 3 here, and we'll catch up with you next week at Daytona.
Thank you guys.
All right, that was Anthony Burrows, third place finisher, but comes in your points leader, and he's going to leave your points leader. But your winner tonight was Caden Rush. A very strong performance, leading 98 laps here out of the 130, and he comes out on top. Let's run through the rest of the results here, and we'll be on our way for tonight's race. On top, Caden Rush started 6th, comes home the winner here. We did have 4 cautions, 12 lead changes in tonight's event, so fairly competitive, especially in the early going when we had the full field kind of racing it out. But a lot of early cautions, or all 4 cautions were in the first half of the race, really, and kind of shook things up a bit. But Zach Nichols tried chasing down Caden, not able to get there in time, and he will come home in 2nd position. Anthony Burrows finishes in 3rd here, another top 5. Connor Horn, another great run for him as well, but just behind Anthony Burrows, so he'll probably lose a point to Anthony. Dylan Parker, probably his best run of the year, finishing in 5th position. Jonathan Hernandez finishes in 6th, also his best finish of the year. Ian Smith finishes 7th. Wade Hustad finishes 8th. Matt Kemp with a great run finishes 9th. And Derek Justice, even with all that damage, rounds out the top 10. In 11th, it's Keith Mayato. 12th was Josh Lambert. 13th was Chris Samard. 14th was Eric Royce. 15th, Michael Jeans. 16th was Ty Bass. 17th, running it out, was Nicholas Short. 18th was Jake Bryan. 19th was Dylan Alt. And rounding out the top 20 was Colin Keister, who was leading early and tried to pull the strategy that Zach Nichols and Matt Kemp did, and didn't work out for him as he was racing with Derek Justice. Jimmy Mullis finishes 21st. He took it behind the wall early. Jeremy Miller finishes 22nd. Vicente Salas, 23rd. Briar LaPrade, 24th. Michael Fenlison, 25th. 26th was Graham Boland. 27th, Donovan Strauss. 28th was Malik Ray, last week's winner. He's not going to repeat. And rounding out the field of starters here tonight, 29th was Skylar Shackelford. Justin Botello did not take the green flag tonight, but that is going to do it for our race here in the NORSEFORCE Valhalla Cup Series. Race number 7 in the books. Caden Rush comes out on top. We want to thank all the sponsors of tonight's event and all of you who tuned in here. Yes, and great job by NORSEFORCE for putting on these great shows each and every week. But Blaze Pizza, Butt Kicker, Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, and Next Level Racing, want to thank all of them for sponsoring the series. And we'll be back next week with the Daytona race number 8. That'll be an 80-lap event. And we're going to be back here tomorrow night with the SK Modified Series, the Raider Series from the NORSEFORCE Racing League. And that's going to be at Bristol for 100 laps, so you're not going to want to miss that one, as those drivers are going to be fighting it out at the Coliseum. Going to be a good event, so tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And, of course, we are live tonight here on VSpeed on Twitch. You can also find us on YouTube, where we post the race replays as well as other interesting content, such as automotive and other real-world racing content. You can also find us on Facebook, where we post announcements for each and every broadcast. And if you didn't follow or subscribe here tonight, we'd appreciate you doing so. It helps us out a lot. And if you enjoyed the broadcast, you can go to show that you like what we're doing here. Same goes for all those other social media outlets you see on your screen. But we appreciate you tuning in nonetheless, and it's the fans that make it possible. So we'll be back tomorrow night, and until then, have a good night.